This is the Louie Tee Network.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie Tee? Welcome to Lockdown Coverage, week number 7 in the National Football League. The Indianapolis Colts on the road taking on the all-of-a-sudden red-hot Tennessee Titans. This was a big one for both teams involved. Another one of these wide-open divisions. We knew this division would be wide open before the season started. No one thought the Titans would be at 3-3 in week 7 with a chance to get to 4-3 and a chance to be breathing down the necks of the division leaders in the Houston Texans. Meanwhile, the Indianapolis Colts gut-wrenching loss last week on Sunday Night Football, seemingly in control of the game versus the Texans, losing the game in overtime after giving up 14 unanswered points to end the game, send it to overtime, and lose on a game-winning field goal in overtime. So gut-wrenching loss there, but here's an opportunity to pick the pieces back up, get to 3-4, not only tie the Tennessee Titans, who are ahead of you in the division, but leapfrog them with a head-to-head win, and then put yourself in a position to then strike if the Texans don't get it done on Monday Night Football versus the Denver Broncos to just be a game out of first place. So even though the Colts have struggled this season, everything they want is right in front of them if they can just find ways to win ball games. So this was a big one. If the Titans win this game, win their third in a row, all of a sudden now they're playing with the utmost confidence, and they've got a really good opportunity to do some damage in this division. Meanwhile, if the Colts can get this one, now you're talking about brand new life for a team that has been squandering opportunities left and right this season. So before we break this game down, I want to welcome all of you who are first-time watchers and viewers of the channel to the Louie Tee Network, and subscribe to the Louie Tee Network for more great content in 2016 and beyond. We're changing the game over here. We want you to be a part of it, so hit that subscribe button for more great content on the Louie Tee Network. Also, I'm on Twitter, @InTheLabRoom is the Twitter handle. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter as I continue to do a lot of big things here. We want you to get your notifications. We want you to be able to converse with me back and forth via Twitter. So go ahead and follow me on Twitter. And also Facebook, In the Lab Room is the Facebook page. I'm going to start doing some Facebook Live things in the near future. Just starting to really get a handle on that Facebook Live thing and how that works. So I'm going to start trying to tap into that as well. And I'm going to do some exclusive content there down the road. Want you to already be ahead of the curve and already be a member there. So like the page In the Lab Room on Facebook. So let's jump into this breakdown. Likes, dislikes, banana in the tailpipe. This was a good football game. And it came down to the wire. Don't let the score fool you. And even though this game was a one-possession game, and at the end with the field goal that the Titans made, this game was even closer than that. So this was a really compelling football game. Let's get into the breakdown. We start with the likes in the first half from the road team, that being the Indianapolis Colts. Love the opening possession response, or the response to the scoring possession of the Titans. Colts get the football after the Titans had just marched down the field and got in the end zone to make it 7-0. And they come back with a touchdown of their own. You get a nice throw to Gore in the end zone on a little bit of a off-schedule pass from Andrew Luck in the red zone to get in the end zone. And these are two of the better red zone scoring teams in the league. The Titans came into the game at number 5 in the league, and the Colts came in at number 7. So these are two teams that when they get in the red zone, they make the most of their opportunities most times. So it was interesting to see these teams get in the red zone and how they would respond, and both stayed true to form, both getting in the red zone, both finding the end zone on their opening possessions. So really good response by the Colts after the Titans take the opening kickoff and move it right down the field and get in the end zone. Colts come back and do the same. Only difference was Colts made their extra point, Titans didn't. So the Colts held a 7-6 lead after the opening score of the game. 37-yard T.Y. Hilton touchdown. And you want to know the difference between these two teams right now? It's one quarterback is the real deal. He's up there top shelf in terms of Andrew Luck, and the other simply isn't there yet. And one of my criteria for the separation of quarterbacks in this league, the good from the bad or the mediocre from that, and the elites and the upper echelons away from the good, is the deep ball. That's one of those separation statistics for me and criteria. You got to be able to hit the deep ball. In this league, guys aren't going to be running free all the time, especially deep. You got to be able to hit them when they're open. And there was an opportunity in this game for a play to be made for the Titans. Mariota misses Matthews, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But T.Y. Hilton running down the field, double coverage, but he's really got the safety on his hip, and Luck doesn't miss. And Hilton to Luck, and this is another like on my list, is one of the most dangerous combinations, one of the best 1-2 punches in the league. I think only behind A.J. Green and Andy Dalton. These two just seem to be in sync with one another week in, week out. They get the job done. When a big play needs to be made, it's usually Hilton from Luck, and they did it again on this play, 37 yards, to give the Colts a 14-6 lead in this ball game. And it was a big time throw and an even better catch. Got the defender draped all over him, and he still makes the catch. And that's the difference between an upper echelon quarterback in this league and a quarterback still trying to figure out who he is and where he is in the pecking order in the league, and Mariota, who misses a deep ball opportunity. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But great play by Hilton and Luck for the hookup for a touchdown. And then onside kick recovery. Now, and this shows the level of desperation in this game by the Indianapolis Colts. They understood what was on the line here. I don't think that was necessarily, because a lot of times, to me, when you do an onside kick in a game, it's usually one of three things. One, your special teams coordinator actually saw something on tape that says, hey, we can get this. They're bailing out. They're not even staying around and sticking around to see if it's going to be onside. We can get this kick. That's number one. Number two, you can't stop the other team's offense, and you know this. So you're like, hey, what the hell do we have to lose? Whether they get it at the 25 on a touchback or they get it at the 45, they're going to score a touchdown either way. So why not try and get the football back? And so you're willing to roll the dice there. Or number three, you're like, hey, we're desperate. We need a spark. We can't afford to be fiddling around in this game. We got to figure out a way to win. And if it's by getting an onside kick on special teams, so be it. But we're desperate. We need it. Let's go get it. And I think it was option 3, the latter for them. They needed this. I don't know if they saw anything or not. Maybe they did. I can't confirm nor deny that. But this is a team that last week saw a game that they had seemingly in control snatched away from them, and they were sitting at 2-4 while the Titans were at 3-3, and they knew they needed this game. And so this one reeked of desperation, not in a sense of, oh, we can't beat the Titans or we can't stop their offense, but we need this game. Let's go get this onside kick, and they did. Ballsy call. It's always ballsy when it works. It's a bad call when it doesn't, and that was a ballsy call because it worked. Led to a field goal to give the Titans a 17-6, or excuse me, the Colts a 17-6 first half lead. Let's go to the first half likes for the Tennessee Titans. Opening possession touchdown. Again, love the touchdown on the opening possession. Marched it down. Had a pass interference penalty on the Colts. Keep that drive alive. Taking advantage of that. Big man with football touchdown. I love it. I love big man with football. Taylor Lewan, tackle eligible at the tight end position. And just in case you forgot how much of an athlete he is, Taylor Lewan, a couple of years back when he came out in that top-heavy tackle draft with Matthews and company, there were some athletes in that draft, all right? And Taylor Lewan probably was among the best of them, if you remember. That combine was so fascinating to watch because there's never a combine where you're excited to see the offensive tackles actually perform at the combine, but that was one of the few offensive line tackle combines where you're like, man, there are some freaks in this draft, and Taylor Lewan was among them, might have been the best of them. And so you just got to see it on display here. When he catches that football, there's a defender trying to come and get him, and Taylor Lewan's not having it. He's running away from that guy, getting into the end zone. Beautifully designed play, and I love to see the big guys get involved, get their hands on the football, and score when they can, and he did. that gave the Titans a 7-0 lead. Great close to the half with a touchdown to DeMarco Murray. The Titans went to sleep on offense. They score on the opening possession of the game, make it look easy. Then you have 3 straight possessions of just nothing, and then you get a touchdown at the end of the half to close it out to give you an opportunity to cut that deficit down to 1 score, which they did at 17-13. You know how I feel about getting points at the end of halves, and being that the Colts were going to get the football to start the second half, you wanted to make sure that you had cut this to a 1-score game just in case they felt like going out and getting more points. You go to the dislikes in the first half. Not downing a punt at the 1-yard line. This is a situation where, and this is the Indianapolis Colts, you got to down that punt. Beautiful kick by your punter, and Pat McAfee, and you get a guy down there, and he's right there in position. He's at the 1. All he's got to do is corral the football, and somehow he's got Butterfinger, slips right through his hands into the end zone. Got to find a way to down that one at the 1. And the difference between downing it at the 1 and having it be a touchback is that team not feeling the pressure of being up against their own goal line. The Titans would take that football from the 20 and drive it into field goal range and get a field goal. So, again, you want to avoid that, or get the touchdown. This was right before the half. That last touchdown to end the first half. They don't score that touchdown if they have to start that. I'm going out on a limb and saying they don't score that touchdown. They got to start at their own 1 yard. I just don't think that's going to happen. The way they were stagnant on offense at the time, they got to start at their own 1. They're pressing a little bit. They're going to be conservative. You might get 3 runs and a punt, which would set you up with some golden field position before the half. Maybe you're able to deliver the knockout blow before the end of the first half. Instead, you give it to them at the 20. They get out there, they make some plays, they get in the field goal range, then they get the pass interference penalty, and boom, just like that, instead of them settling for a field goal before the half, they get a touchdown. So that was a huge turn of events in my mind. You got to down that punt at the 1 yard line. TJ Green with the pass interference penalty on Delaney Walker before the half in the end zone, putting the football at the 1, leading to the DeMarco Murray touchdown run. Look, those are going to happen, especially when you're playing against a really good tight end like Delaney Walker. You'd hate to have your young rookie safety in one-on-one coverage and him not look for the football and grab a PI, but it happened. It is what it is. They called it on the wrong guy. I think they called it actually on your other safety. It was TJ Green, and he was guilty of pass interference. Never looked for the football. Was holding one of Delaney Walker's arms, set up the Titans' second touchdown of the first half. You go to the first half dislikes for the Tennessee Titans. Missed point after on the opening score of the game. Look, again, I talk about this all the time. You're not good enough to miss that. You're just not. And any team in the league doesn't want to miss point afters, but if you're the Titans, you need every single point you can get, including that point after. Can't miss that. And you almost feel like you're chasing points from that point after. And that's just unfortunate there that they missed that extra point. McCain with a holding penalty on 3rd and 10 when the Colts were going to have to settle for a field goal. And it would have been a nice long one. Vinatieri probably knocks it home anyway, but make him kick it from 48, from 49, from 50, instead of getting a holding penalty and giving them new life. And they would take that opportunity and they would get in the end zone. So you take an opportunity where they're going to have to settle for a field goal and you turn it into a 7-point opportunity, which they converted. So that's the difference of 4 points. I mean, those are the types of things that help you lose ball games. Can't make those types of plays and give up opportunities to get off the field defensively. Giving up the deep ball to Hilton on the 37-yard touchdown. You'd love for your safety to be in better position. Don't let T.Y. Hilton on top of him. It's easier said than done. T.Y. Hilton, one of the faster receivers in the league. But that being said, you've got the opportunity to stay on top. You stay deeper than the deepest. Don't let him beat you. He did, and Luck did not miss. Mariota missing Matthews deep and DRE on 3rd down. So here's my biggest gripe with Marcus Mariota right now. It's the inconsistencies with his accuracy. And remember, when he came into the league, one of the things he was supposed to be gifted at, and one of his most remarkable traits was supposed to be his uncanny ability to be accurate with the football. We didn't know if he could read defenses or if he could understand and digest a playbook right away. But one thing's for sure, we know he's going to hit guys in stride. We know he's going to hit guys on the money because he's an accurate passer of the football. That was the assumption made because of what he did at Oregon. But it has not translated enough for me. There are games when he is highly accurate, then there are games when he's not. This is one of those games when he was not accurate. I say this all the time. In the NFL, if a defender is behind a receiver deep, he's open. That receiver is open. You cannot miss. Mariota missed Matthews streaking down the middle of the field. If he hits him, maybe he's able to break that tackle and score. I doubt it, but it's still a big chunk play, 40 some odd yards, and you're looking at the Titans setting up shop 1st and 10 from like the 19-yard line. Instead, he misses Matthews by 1.5 yards, and you don't get any points on that possession, and you have to punt. These are the types of plays that come back to haunt you. You look at the third down pass, wide open on a comeback is the one and only DRE on the sidelines. He's not even close, okay? Can't miss that throw. In this league, you can't miss that throw. The difference between keeping a drive alive and you losing a football game is the difference in you being in the playoffs at the end of the season and you on the outside looking in because you didn't get the job done in a ball game in October. Got to find a way to make these throws. You don't know what that possession could turn into if you convert that third down. The very next play could be a 61-yard touchdown pass. The very next play could be a 47-yard run by Murray down to the 17 that sets up a touchdown run 3 plays later. You have to convert on third downs. And you didn't convert there. You missed a wide open receiver. Got to hit these guys. And Mariota's inconsistency throwing the football is something that is starting to concern me because this is something we're getting with him every other week. One week he's flawless and sparkling. The next week he's missing guys. Even when he's hitting guys deep, a lot of times they're having to stretch and dive for the football like last week with Kendall Wright against the Browns. He had to sell out and dive just to catch that football and roll into the end zone, and he hurt himself a little bit. Guys shouldn't have to do that when they're that wide open. Hit him, let him walk in the end zone. He's got to work on his accuracy, or he'll never materialize into the quarterback that was the number 2 pick overall in the 2015 NFL draft. Not recovering the onside kick. Philip Supernaw is right there. It takes a little funky bounce, I will admit, but he's got to recover that kick. You can't allow the Colts to roll the dice and come up nice with an onside kick there. You recover that, you get great field position. They're only up 8 at 14-6. You're going to get some points out of that possession as long as you don't have any penalties that push you back. You get 1 first down, you're in field goal range. You got to recover that onside kick. Let's go back to the likes and back to the Indianapolis Colts in this game, and we go to the second half now. Adam Vinatieri breaks the NFL record for most consecutive field goals made. Congratulations to the future Hall of Fame kicker. Adam Vinatieri has been outstanding, and at his age, he's still one of the best kickers, if not the best kicker in the league. The guy just gets it done. He's as steady as the day is long. And like I said, this guy is continuing to build on a Hall of Fame resume. How he doesn't get in on the first ballot, I don't know if that's possible. He's got to be in there, and he's got to be in there as soon as he's eligible. I think this guy's earned it, and he continues to build and pad his stats and build that Hall of Fame resume. Congratulations again to Adam Vinatieri for breaking the NFL record for most consecutive field goals made. Overcoming the penalties. Okay, there were a ton of penalties by the Indianapolis Colts in this game. And and on that final drive that allowed them to take the lead with 1 minute and 55 seconds left in the fourth quarter, they were down 20-23 and they get in the end zone. They had at least 3 penalties that made that possession hell, and they overcame every single one of them. Now, they got some help from the Titans with some penalties of their own, but make no mistake about it, it was a gutsy, gritty drive that they had to have to really keep their season alive. They lose this game, drop to 2-5, they're done, okay? They are done. That would put them at 0-2, I believe, in the division. Haven't played Jacksonville yet. So 0-2 in the division, at 2-5, at this point in the season, you're dead. So they had to have it. They got it. And they took the lead with 1:55 left. Huge drive by the Indianapolis Colts. 12 penalties for 132 yards in this game. They were killing themselves. And on that final drive, they were finding ways to try to blow an opportunity to get in the end zone and have to settle for a Vinatieri field goal for a tie. But they overcame, and they found a way to get in the end zone. Huge touchdown grab by Jack Doyle in the end zone for the go-ahead score. And then finally, the icing on the cake, putting this game out of reach. T.Y. McGill, it was the T.Y. show. One side it was Hilton, the other side it was McGill. With a sack, forced fumble, it recovered, scooped up by Robert Mathis for the scoop and score to put this game on ice. Huge play. Titans still had an opportunity to go down and get the game-winning score. And on the very first play, T.Y. McGill splits a double team. I mean, it's a hell of a play. You're asking yourself, where has this been and why don't you do this more often? But he splits a double team, gets to Marcus Mariota, knocks the football out of his hand, scooped up by Robert Mathis, who runs it in and puts the exclamation point on a much-needed victory for the Indianapolis Colts. You go to the Titans and their likes in this game in the second half, taking the lead at 23-20 with 7 minutes left in the ball game, more like 6 minutes and 45 seconds. But you feel like, all right, if we can get a stop, maybe we can win this football game. But they weren't. That stop was elusive. They weren't able to get it. They allowed the Colts to eat up about 5 minutes on that next drive, get into the end zone, and give them back the football with $1:55 left, in which they would squander the opportunity on the very first offensive snap with the fumble that turned into a scoop and score for Robert Mathis, giving the Colts a 34-23 lead at that point in the ball game. You go to the second half dislikes. We go back to the Colts. Chester Rogers fielding a punt at the goal line, returning it out to the 12. What the hell are you doing, man? I know you're a rookie. You don't know better. You need to know better, okay? Put your heels on the 10-yard line. This is the rule. Okay, this goes back into the day. Put your heels on the 10-yard line. If the ball goes over your head, and I know these punters have gotten so much better at reverse spin action and having the ball bounce backwards after it hits at the 3 and being down at the 5, I'll take my chances with that. Then fielding it at the 1-yard line and getting out to the 12, you don't do that. That ball was going in the end zone, okay? You don't catch that. Personal foul penalty on Josh McNary negates an interception. I'm surprised that Josh McNary had a personal foul. He's from Navy, man, or Army, or one of those schools. Come on, dude. That's not even supposed to be your personality, man. What's wrong with you? Like I said, ton of penalties on the day for the Colts. That was a costly one there. 3 penalties on the touchdown drive that allowed the Titans to tie the game at 20. So you're up 20-13. You got 3 huge defensive penalties that aid and abet the Titans in getting in the end zone to tie the game up at 20. And like I said, it was a penalty fest. And it always is a flag fest when Jerome Boger's crew is on the job. Same with Jeff Triplett and his crew. Those are the 2 most flag-wielding, penalty-calling units out there that we have as officials in this league. So you just got caught with one of them, and when you do, they're going to throw the flag. You can best believe that. Illegal shift penalty negates a Hilton touchdown. Again, more penalties killing you, which leads me into my final dislike. Penalties. I already chronicled them throughout this breakdown. 12 for 132 yards. Generally, you don't win games like that. Generally, that comes back to haunt you, but you made some big plays down the stretch, and you were able to overcome, and that's why overcoming the penalties was on my likes list, because it takes a lot for a team to overcome the amount of penalties for the amount of yardage. It's one thing if you got 12 penalties, but there are a whole bunch of 5-yard penalties. You hate those, but okay, they're only 5 yards. But when you're getting big chunk yardage penalties like the pass interference on T.J. Green to set up a 1-yard touchdown, or plays where you'll be able to get off the field on defense and you get a penalty that extends a drive, or a Josh McNary personal foul penalty on an interception that gives the ball back to the Titans. These are huge game-altering, game-changing penalties that normally cost you ball games. Colts were able to overcome in this game, however. Second half dislikes for the Titans. Roughing the passer penalty on 3rd and 10 by Daquan Jones that leads to a field goal. You would love to not have that happen. They were going to have to punt the football. Huge, costly penalty. I talked about the penalties on the Colts. This was a big one on the Titans in this football game. Got to avoid that. And again, another one of these young guys, you just want the youngins to go out there and not hurt you. One of your youngins hurt you in this instance with the Tennessee Titans. And not being able to get a stop at the end of the game is the next dislike. You're up by, a touchdown here late, or it was 23-20 after you get the field goal. You would love to be able to at least force them to kick a field goal at worst. Don't give up a touchdown in that situation, though. Find a way to keep them out of the end zone. Worst case scenario, this game's going to overtime if you can't get it done on that following possession. But don't let them score a touchdown and take a lead where you need a touchdown now just to win the football game. And then finally, the fumble at the end. Can't allow that to happen. It's a double team. You can't let a guy split a double team and then knock the football out of your quarterback's hands. Bad job on the center and the guard getting beat there. And an even worse job of Marcus Mariota protecting the football in the pocket. I don't think he saw the defender, but he's right in your face. You got to see color flash and put that football away. You can't be soft with the football. And Mariota's been known to be soft. This was one of the knocks I had on him at Oregon, is that he's soft with the football in the pocket. He will fumble the football. And I don't know if this is one of those, big hand, small hand conversations. I don't give a damn. Be stronger with the football in the pocket. He let it get knocked out of his hands. Scoop and score. That's the ball game. Titans lose this game. So it was a good football game. Well played on both sides. A lot of penalties, but at the end of the day, the Colts were able to overcome the mistakes. And unfortunately, the Titans were not. Colts get the job done 34-26 and get this win, get to 3-4 in the season. And they're right there now in second place in this division. And again, if the Texans don't get it done Monday Night Football tonight, you're staring at a half game deficit if you're the Indianapolis Colts, which you feel like we got plenty of time to make that up. So for all of the things they've done wrong early in this season, for all of the late leads blown, the Colts are right there in a position to still win this division. And this was a big win on the road versus the Titans. For the Titans, you're still a young team. You still don't know how to win, and this is a prime example of that. You had every opportunity to get this win, and you just blew it. Late in the ball game, you did not execute. You gave up a touchdown late, and then you turned around and gave up another one on the offensive side with a fumble and a scoop and score. So poor execution by the Tennessee Titans late cost them an opportunity to really make some headway in this division and put together a 3-game winning streak, the first time they've been able to do that in quite some time. Sounded nice, didn't happen. Now you fall back to 3-4, and now you got to find a way to get a win. And it's tough in this league to win ball games. And so when you get an opportunity to win at home and you blow it, it's got to be very deflating for a young football team like the Tennessee Titans. Let's get to some of your comments. Captain Spartan 04 says, the short bit I saw of this game was Luck overthrowing T.Y. Hilton. Is Dante Moncrief, his tall target, hurt? Moncrief is still hurt. And Luck overthrew him on that third down, but they got a mulligan because they got a personal foul penalty on Daquan Jones. So Luck was actually pretty good this game. Didn't miss T.Y. Hilton very often. Titans bailed him out on that particular play. But yes, he is missing his bigger wide receiver in Moncrief. He'll be back shortly. He's been out for the last 3 or 4 weeks now with an injury. Captain Spartan 04 says, scenario question, Colts cut Josh Ferguson and trade for Matt Forte. Would that be a good scenario for the Colts? 2 great veteran backs and Gore Forte. No, it wouldn't, because Gore and Forte symbolize the same exact thing. It'd be one thing if you didn't have a veteran back on your roster and you like Forte. I think Forte would be an upgrade over Gore personally, but you already got Gore. Gore's not doing anything wrong. You don't want to have to split the carries between Gore and Forte. I don't think that's a good thing, and to give away a draft pick for it, I don't think that's a good idea, especially with the mistakes that Grigson has already made in trading away picks. That would not be a smart decision in my eyes. You need to start building this team up with young, talented football players, not giving away draft picks to acquire more aging veterans. Enrique Valencia says, Luck has been outstanding this year. I believe he's really matured as a quarterback this year and is a dark horse candidate for MVP. I love the way he's playing. And I've been defending him this entire time. The one thing I didn't like going into the season was the amount of turnovers. But I said, look, a lot of those turnovers stem from him not being protected and him trying to make plays when he just simply needs to realize, I've done enough here, whether it's throw it out of bounds and live to fight another play or just get down. He's got to learn not to do that, and he's been avoiding those plays this year. He understands what he means to this football team. He's been playing outstanding football. I love Andrew Luck, and everyone's been trying to come down on a lot of people. I won't say everyone. A lot of people have been trying to come down on him. I wasn't one of them, and he's absolutely playing at a very high level, and he is quietly building himself a campaign for MVP. Now, they got to play better as a team. He won't win anything if this team ends up, 7-9 and they miss the playoffs. But if they can find a way to scratch and claw their way to 10 wins this season, they would have to get hot to do it, obviously, having lost 4 games already. But if they find a way to win this division and Luck continues to have the year he's having right now, I could easily see him throwing his name in there. Because there isn't a quarterback right now outside of Ryan and Rivers that are lighting it up to the point where you're like, hey, man, we need to consider these guys for MVP this season. So he could definitely throw his name in the hat if he continues to play this way and they start winning some ball games. Enrique Valencia says, this game is exactly what I feared. Chuck hasn't prepared this team and did everything he could to lose this game, but Andrew always bails him out. I thought the Titans were game. I don't know if this was a Chuck Pagano failure or not. I loved the onside kick. That shows that this team was prepared there. But give the Titans some credit. This team is evolving. They're not there yet. They're a young team. They're still trying to figure out how to win, but give the Titans some credit. They played a good football game. And let's not act as if the Colts have a great roster. This is not a great assemblance of talent, especially on defense. There's a lot of holes defensively, and the Titans were able to run the football, and they took advantage of a lot of the deficiencies that the Colts have on the defensive side of football. So I wouldn't put it all on the coaching staff. I think that was more of a, look, you just don't have it on defense. Every week is going to be a shootout, and Andrew Luck in the offense is going to have to score damn near 30 every week because this defense isn't very good, and it's as simple as that. Andrew Kim, who do you think gets more wins, Jags or Titans? I actually like the Titans because they can run the ball, and Bortles overall has regressed. You said everything that I would have said, and you said it in a nice, neater, tighter package. That sums up my thoughts on that exact question. Titans can run the football. That's going to limit the amount of mistakes that Mariota makes. Meanwhile, Bortles and the Jags can't run the football effectively enough. And so that puts the football in the hands of Bortles. And he's been a turnover machine since the day he entered the league and has not gotten any better. And I'm about to watch that game next. And I can't wait to see how he helped the Raiders get that win in week number 7 because Bortles, like you said, has regressed. And I'm already questioning him. I started to question back in like week 3 about him potentially not being the guy in Jacksonville. I'm not sold on him any longer being the guy. So we'll find out what Bortles is moving forward. But I'm starting to lose confidence. As the weeks pass, I am becoming less and less a fan of Blake Bortles as a starting quarterback in this league. So I agree with you that the Titans have a better opportunity to win more games than the Jags this season. That's going to do it for this breakdown. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here on Lockdown Coverage. Come back and join me as I continue to break down anything and everything in the National Football League. Remember, we're changing the game one live feed at a time. Titans fall to the Indianapolis Colts 34-26. Colts get to 3-4 in the season. Titans drop to 3-4. Colts, by virtue of this win, has the tiebreaker over the Titans. So technically, the Indianapolis Colts now hold second place in the AFC South division. I'll see you guys a little bit later on with Raiders and Jags. Got plenty more breakdowns on this Monday, this football Monday on Lockdown Coverage. I'll see you later. Have a good one.